Hi and welcome to my channel. So today's topic is quite a controversial topic and it's something slightly more serious than my other topics. It is also something I want to say that is more of a debate kind of thing. It's not really one of my usual videos, if you know what I mean. So the reason for that is because this video is about religion. So I want to say that it is about the Christian religion specifically, and I'm going to try and present this video in a very informative manner because, in all honesty, we all have differing opinions, and you don't need to believe what I believe, and I don't need to believe what you believe. So, I will start off by saying that I was raised in a Christian family, and as time went by, I eventually felt distant from the religion simply because I found the whole religion to be very contradictory. And I found that the Bible in itself posed a million problems for me. I'll tell you why, because this video specifically, first of all, I should say what this video is about. I have not gotten to that yet. This video will be about the resurrection story of Jesus and whether Jesus, in fact, died on the cross or not. So, to get back to the contradictory issue, in the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, we have I don't know how many different views of one event. So, those four Gospels will give different versions of Jesus' death and resurrection. For instance, the one Gospel will say that Mary Magdalene was at the tomb after Jesus died, and another Gospel would say that there were three women there. Another gospel would say that the stone had already been rolled away from the entrance of the tomb, where a different gospel would say that the stone was still in front of the entrance. Now, you would think that these small details wouldn't really matter in the bigger picture. However, it makes a person question the credibility of the whole story, as a whole, I mean. So, in this video, I'll be discussing the resurrection story of Jesus, and I'll be questioning whether he really did die on the cross. So, the traditional Christian story is that Jesus died and after 3 days he rose from the dead in physical form. That's also questionable because some really liberal Christians believe that he did not physically rise, but that it was his spirit that actually was resurrected. So, you see why I'm saying there's just contradiction after contradiction with this whole religion. I do have to mention that I believe that Jesus really lived and really died. Whether he was the actual only Son of God, that is questionable. To me, we are all children of God. And when I say children, you know what I mean. We all have a little bit of the divine in us. And to me, God is neither male nor female. God is energy. God is a little bit of everything. All right? I also really honestly don't believe that Jesus was born of a virgin. But that's a story for another video. So let's just try and stay on topic. I will try to stay on topic. I've actually made a list of all the things I want to mention because the way my mind works lately, I just forget so much. So I may do a second part of this video. This will be part 1 because I have a few points that I just want to touch on. But like I said, I do believe that there was a Jesus. I believe that he died, like all humans eventually will. And I believe that he was a spiritual master. I believe that he was a great teacher and a phenomenal healer. And you could call him, if you will, an ascended master, because I believe that even in the spirit world, he still acts as a prime example of what humans should be and how humans should behave and act. Right, so in order to discuss the resurrection theory of Jesus, we need to first determine what happened to him if he did not in fact die on the cross. So first of all, there's the question of whether it was him who actually died. there is literally a theory that he had a replacement on the cross. So the theory is that Simon Peter was actually on the cross instead of Jesus. I'm assuming then that Jesus made an arrangement with Simon Peter to be on the to take his place on the cross instead of Jesus taking his place on the cross. There is also, funny enough, a theory that Judas could have been the person on the cross. Now, that is a bit bizarre. So I've been watching a documentary. You can look it up. I think you can literally just type in the search bar, Jesus didn't die on the cross, and then you'll see it. It actually speaks about Judas being spoken of or being mentioned as the twin of Jesus. I don't know how credible or how logical that seems. I forgot the word now, but there is a term that actually directly translates to twin. Some Hebrew term. I forgot what it is. And based on that, there's some theory that Judas could have been the twin of Jesus. I don't know. I don't really believe that. But nonetheless, there is this theory that Jesus was not the one on the cross. It was a replacement. And the thing that supports this theory is that in the Gospels, it is mentioned that when Jesus' disciples saw him after the resurrection, they didn't recognize him at first. So could this be because it wasn't the actual Jesus, or because the person that they saw who reappeared was Jesus, but the person on the cross was not? Or was the person in front of them the actual replacement, and that's why they didn't recognize him? It's something to really try and wrap your head around. It is not easy. It's more complicated than anything. You know, my grandmother used to say that a person should have the faith of a child, like believe the way a child believes, have a childlike faith, and not question anything. But I feel like children question everything, you know? If you tell a 4-year-old that the sky is blue, they'll say, why? Why is the sky blue? And you'll give them the reason and they'll say, but why? And they'll keep asking, why? And they want to know more. They want to find out more about life. So to me, if you say have faith like a child, it's almost like saying, ask why. Don't just take things at face value, if you know what I mean. Have the courage to question, to investigate, to find out more, because you can't wholeheartedly, with your entire being, believe something if you're questioning it. To me, at least, I feel like I can't say that I definitely 100% completely, fully, wholeheartedly believe in the Bible if I'm questioning it, left, right, and center. So, right, that is the first theory in terms of Jesus' resurrection, that he actually had a replacement and that it wasn't him who died on the cross. But then, the second theory, and it has different sections, so bear with me. The second theory is that it was Jesus on the cross, but he did not die. So underneath that theory, one of the subsections of that theory, you can call it, is what we call the Swoon Theory. All right? So that theory is based on the fact that Jesus did not die. He simply became unconscious, or he fainted. For instance, he appeared to be dead when he wasn't actually dead. So we all know that over time, the medical industry, doctors, just the medical profession has really evolved. We now know that it's not so easy to declare someone dead when they're actually alive, because you have to do a million tests first. You can't just say, oh, the person is dead because I felt for a pulse and there was no pulse, if you know what I'm saying. But in the olden days, it was a little bit more complicated. So along with the swoon theory, there is the theory that Jesus fainted because he was tired. He had lost perhaps a lot of blood. He had been beaten, he had been hurt physically, he was just exhausted, and he appeared dead when he actually was still very much alive. Pardon me, something going on in the neighborhood, screaming. Anyway, so moving swiftly along, there is a theory that Jesus was drugged while he was on the cross. He had been given a sponge with vinegar, which he sucked on, and not long after that, he died. So what supports this whole theory that he wasn't dead is the fact that it normally took a few days for prisoners on the cross to pass or to die. And what is strange is that Jesus died very quickly in comparison to how the other people who apparently were crucified died. So the two people that were with Jesus on their own crosses, apparently their legs were broken as a way of speeding up their death. Because if their legs were not able to support them, then it meant that all their weight was basically just hanging, and they eventually died of suffocation, right? But Jesus' legs were not broken because everyone assumed that he had already died. So Pontius Pilate found it quite unusual because he remarked that Jesus was already dead, which alludes to the fact that death came very quickly to him, quicker than it would normally come to a person in the crucified position. So Joseph of Arimathea was a very wealthy man who then asked Pilate if he could have the body of Jesus. Now, there is a theory that the actual tomb that Jesus was taken to belonged to Joseph of Arimathea. Now, I think we will stop this video right here, and then I will do a part 2 because I see we're over the 12-minute mark. Please stay tuned for the next video. I hope that so far I have piqued your interest in a way, and I hope that you have found this informative in some way, to some extent. Thanks for watching. Bye.